This video is going to be to show you some of the work that I've been doing and some of the recipes that I've been creating, because I know that people are currently trying to market some of them and pass them off as their own ideas, because a lot of them are original ideas. In fact, they've been harassing me jokingly that McDonald's and Taco Bell were two in particular restaurants, national chains, that were interested in some of my stuff. So this is the three-piece popcorn, pregnant popcorn and pickles, popcorn fried pickles with derechos, lime salt, and chamoy. Oh, real quick, side note here. See how here when they were trying to kidnap me and they were trying to get me to sign away and give consent to treatment, and it talks about experimental treatment and shit like that, and it said that I might be, exposed to AIDS. I further consent to the hospital conducting blood, bone infectious, or disease testing, including without limitation acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, human immunodeficiency virus, and hepatitis. The provider ordered such tests for diagnosis and treatment purposes, and understand that in the case of an accidental exposure to blood or other bodily fluids, state law allows the hospital to test a patient who may have been exposed to a health co-worker to HIV without obtaining the person's consent. The very first day that I moved in this RV, there was a couple of odd items that were left behind in it intentionally, and they were intended to definitely trigger something in me, because one of them was a spray can of spray foam, which I've already discussed in a video about this, and how it was, that was definitely meant to leave for some kind of attempt at framing me or something like that. Another item that was left on the counter was a pair of reading glasses, and the third item was a pill in the foil wrapper. And I looked up the number the number of the pill. I took a picture of it and I looked it up, and it was a pill for AIDS medication. So I don't know what they've got fucking planned or what they're trying to do with this whole HIV thing, but that I'm positive that is connected, because they brought it up again today. So anyway, these are homemade biscuits with hash browns, spinach, poached egg, and sausage, and refried beans and chorizo. This is some sweetbreads. These are some drunken brats, spicy bratwurst, sous vide Nammerbach, and it's got sambal, braised peppers and onions, roasted garlic and herbs on pretzel rolls. These are mole wings, or holy moly drumsticks. Basically, the whole idea behind that was the fact that everybody loves wings down here, and you see all these ring restaurants, but nobody has mole wings. So I thought, would be nice, that'd be pretty cool to have some option for mole. And it's over jalapeno cheddar grits, or green chili grits. This one's I called love pies, leftover various accoutrements, spinach, arugula, bacon, pepperoni, Spanish chorizo, corn and bechamel, and Goya empanada wraps, and Italian tomato sauce and pecorino romano. This is just a steak dish with a cheaper cut of meat, grits, bacon, Brussels sprouts, and here. That's the red door of the new house that my mother had painted red. And then, of course, the other house, the other door at the other house was also painted red, which signifies it has to be a repute or a whorehouse or a sex trafficking house. Chicken Parmesan sandwich with a big old thick slice of pepperoni, or I'm sorry, Spanish chorizo. And the chicken was breaded with sun chips, the harvest ones, or the French onion ones, too. And duck fat waffle fries with balsamic and white truffle oil. And all these dishes I created actually when I was living in the hotel without a kitchen. Spicy meatballs, sliders. The Chef Coolero, a menage a trois with Chris in the blankets. So it was a 3-year-old Campbell's hot links, sous vide, and Amberbach. They were sous vide and crawfish boil, wrapped in banana wrappers, served over warm kale and cabbage salad with cranberry, bacon, pear, serrano, and sambal, vermouth vinaigrette, and apple mustard sauce. I think you can understand why it's called Chris in the blankets. This is one of the dishes that supposedly McDonald's was interested in. These are, when the moon hits your eye like a meaty pizza pie. That's amore. Caramelized onions, peppers, ham, Spanish chorizo, bacon, Italian sausage, chopped Italian tomatoes, 6 Italian cheeses, and a Goya empanada wrap. Because I thought, you could eat empanada. I mean, you could, I'd never seen anybody do a pizza roll into an empanada, and then, it's a really convenient dish to do, and they're cheap to produce. And you could give your kids cheap pizza rolls, which are shitty for you, or you could actually give them 3 of these fucking things, and it's a meal. Because pizza rolls were really, really big in my house growing up, but they were horrible for you. Here, check this out. As I said before, really, well, that's long. Back up. It is. No. It's in your what? That in my head. I explained that calm. People say that neurochip. So it's recorded with the speakers that you can hear buzzing or anything. I haven't found a doctor that can explain that yet. That proves that there is implant in my head. There's an electrical signal going through my fucking head. It's communicating using Bluetooth. This is a liquid nitrogen ice cream. I'm sorry, CO2, liquid CO2. Oh, sorry. Jesus Christ, solid CO2 ice cream. These ones are also really, really popular. I named the Heartbreak Hotel burgers because I was living in a hotel when I made them. I was at Heartbreak Hotel mini burgers, ground beef brisket, and chuck spicy sambal, peanut butter, applewood peppercorn bacon, and brulee banana on a pretzel bun made in a hotel room with no kitchen. Pretty delicious. Actually, they're fucking amazing. Ain't gonna lie. Flaming hot Cheeto and Funyun fried chicken. This was fucking awesome as well. It was absolutely delicious. Oh, this is me, by the way. In case somebody's trying to impersonate me. That's who I am. Put a little tenderizer on me, and I softened up pretty nice. will be the kind that hesitates. Be too shy, way too late. I don't care what they say other lovers. I just wanna bring it to you. This is fried sous vide, buttermilk sous vide hot Cheeto fried chicken. And did it with thighs because the drumsticks were and wings were getting expensive, so I thought about doing it with thighs. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, Wingstop, or one of those restaurants, goes on a big launch about using thighs instead as well. So on pizzas. These are also really good. Mini burgers with a pico de gallo marmalade. I'd always seen pico, and I know that a lot of people get thrown away after a couple of days because it looks like shit and it's not presentable. But I thought about, well, you always have tomato marmalade, you always have onion jam, you always have bacon marmalade. Why not just combine jalapeno, tomato, and onion? Why not combine all those, 3 marmalades, and you got pico de gallo basically. So I literally just took some old pico de gallo and reduced it down with sugar, water, and fucking vinegar. And basically it's like a spicy Mexican ketchup. Homemade bacon, that shit was the fucking bomb, dude. I lost a bunch of it in the fire. It's so sad. Hill Country fried chicken livers with sriracha avocado blossom honey mustard sauce. This is another one here. Hot Cheeto fried guacamole croquettes. These are fucking awesome right here. These duck fat sous vide sweet potato spiral chips. Sriracha maple brown butter. Fucking delicious. Homemade cinnamon sourdough with raisin, cherries, and pineapple. Hot Cheeto fried pickles. Piccadilly's actually. So I took Kool-Aid, different kinds of Kool-Aid, and marinated the pickles in the Kool-Aid because it's kind of a Mexican thing. Piccadilly's are a Mexican thing and a black person thing. And fried them with hot Cheetos. Fuck, they were good. Dipping hot Cheeto fried guacamole bites. Banana cajeta peanut butter and Nutella icebox pie. Nola RGB Nola shrimp and grits. The duck fat spiralized papitas bravas.
Very kind.
was the kitchen that I was setting up over at Monster Car Wash before they fucked me over. That was also labor trafficking and sex trafficking there. In fact, it is. It is a mirror of Chaturbate. So what I was showing you here, on the top of here, that's WhiteHouseCams.com, which is a mirror site of Chaturbate, WhiteHouseCams.com, and White House is what Paul Castellano's mansion was named. Okay, so right there, it's fucked up. And you know something about the crisis. Recording the AI agent. Maybe I can see in the next 2 minutes. I don't have these letters. I know it's kind of hard to hear. I was mentioning about how our family was related to Roblox. My mother's maiden name is Robles. Roblox, R-O-B-L-E-S. Roblox, R-O-B-L-E-X, or sorry, O-X. And that's where they target and groom a lot of children from all over the world. And we're also related to OBS, which is Open Broadcaster System, or Open Broadcaster Software, which is a way that they're able to use the camera and share your screen without your knowledge or consent, or without any kind of indication that it's being done. This is my crawfish in a bag. I realized that I could sell and do crawfish in small batches, like individual servings, and I could save a lot of time and money, and actually get more flavor and everything like that. And then I wouldn't because when you do crawfish, they're only like good when they're fucking hot. But this way I could actually stop the cooking process midway. Throw them into liquid nitrogen, and then when you're heating them up at home, they come out perfectly cooked. All you would have to do is basically get a pot of water. If you didn't have a sous vide unit, just get a pot of water, bring it to a boil, turn it off when it gets to a boil, dunk your bag of water, your bag of food in there. Give it 15 minutes and it's going to be a perfect temperature. It's like a plate it for a meal prep. Blue crab and white truffle gnocchi, jamming in the kitchen, sous vide dinner. It's fucking delicious. And that was actually pasteurized. So it could have been a shelf staple. All this can be done in a zero oxygen environment. Compressed fruit, making a chamber unit. Using calcium nitrate. No, it's calcium. I think it's calcium nitrate. I'm able to actually adhere fruit to each other. So it's a mixture of like calcium nitrate and gelatin. I think it's calcium nitrate. I forget. I'm blanking on the exact chemical that's used. But you compress fruit, and then you're able to glue it together basically, and then recompress it to where it becomes one solid piece. And it's really, really good, fucking delicious. So yeah, compressed fruit. This is fucking delicious. Raspberry tiramisu in a jar. Prime rib. So basically, the way the whole business model worked for this is all like basically my menu for the catering company, the fine dining on the run company, and the meal prep company, was that basically you could either order individually. Each item basically dovetailed into all three menus, and you could order individual portions or for two, 4, 6, 8, and up to 10 people. And of course, you could always do more, but it was going to obviously multiply by 2, and that way it became you could either order it as a meal prep or as a just a regular meal, fine dining on the run, or as a or for your family meal, or for parties and catering. And so each item broke out into smaller portions, and so that way you wouldn't have to have a whole lot of different ingredients. It was just basically giving you the same ingredients, but just going kind of almost like Taco Bell's fucking scheme where they just kind of replate a lot of different shit and call it something else. But the prime rib is really, really fucking delicious because it's sous vide for 3 days and then smoked. So what you end up with is something that's like ribeye and a prime rib, and it stays medium rare, and it's a lot more softer and tender. Kind of just melts in your fucking mouth. You see, in the way everything's stored, basically, you make a whole loin, cut it down to like in portions of 2, and then you go back into the sous vide bath, pasteurize it with all the all the accoutrements, and then flash freeze it, and then you just pull out what you need per order. And once again, all of this can be just done without even a sous vide unit to heat it back up. All you gotta do is just get a pot of water, bring it to a boil, turn it off, put your food in a few minutes you have perfectly good meal as if it came out of a fine dining kitchen. Some pork spare ribs, or baby back ribs actually. Fumi salad slaw, pickled peppers. This pork belly pizza is pork salad. It's freaking delicious. I love it. Brisket, fucking delicious too. Best brisket. Because once again I sous vide that for 3 days and then smoke it for 12 hours, but you still get a medium rare, medium prime brisket. But unlike a lot of brisket where it's kind of like mealy or kind of like stringy and shit like that, this actually holds its texture, but it's like you can gum it. You don't need a fork and knife. You can cut it with a spoon. Another type of bacon. More pizza. So the spiral black fat potatoes spiral chips were an idea that I had about sous videing the potatoes first before frying them, basically doing a pre-blanch, but be able to impart some flavor at the same time, and then chemically treating them basically with using baking soda to cause like a chemical reaction to where you would wind up like a puffy chip, but like an al dente center. And I started researching, and Chef Maxime from America's Test Kitchen was also working on the very same idea, the same technique. The only step that I didn't take that he originally that he had taken was a second step in the and a ultrasonic bath. And during the time of the house fire, I was actually building my own ultrasonic bath, and apparently, like these are considered like the best potato chips or French fries in the world. And granted, there's a 3-step process to it, so you're cooking them basically 3 times, so it's a little more time constraining, but the shelf life of them is so much more better, and it's worth it. It's fucking worth it. So and fries can get over soaked, and all these issues with mass producing fries, but this you don't, and it is fucking worth the extra steps. I mean, the texture is just fucking amazing. The one thing that'll happen though with the when you use it, this ultrasonic bath, is that it creates like all these air pockets in it. So it basically it's like adding a batter layer that's not even there. So you get even more crunch and more air. It's really cool. Lamb lollipops. Pork butt. Bacon wrapped chorizo stuffed pork loin. So the Three Little Pigs play. It was actually fucking delicious. Oh yeah, this was the bacon wrapped pork tamale stuffed tenderloin. Yeah, with mole sauce on top. That was good too. Chocolate covered bacon. That's where it's at. Covered with peanut brittle. Homemade duck fat chicharrones. Oh my god. And all of this stuff could have been run off of a food truck as well too. The prep would be intense, but the service is fucking quick and uncomplicated, quick and easy. Basically, with the whole induction burner system and everything like that, basically the way it was timed out is that I could get any meal out in under 15 minutes from when the order was taken. Any meal. And it could all be timed out to where everything came out at the same time, all hot, no issues, and just very, very simplified, very, very quick. The production aspect is where you need somebody who you can trust and somebody who's valuable. But execution, any monkey could do it. You're basically just cutting open a fucking bag and putting it on a plate. Bacon skin, baby back ribs. So what I did is I used meat glue to wrap the baby back ribs in bacon, and so it was like the skin basically was actually bacon, and then baby back rib inside. Some food science shit. Really good though. These are my fresh stud muffins right here. The biggest size you can get is a 6-pack. Because, well, that's the way I was born. 6 is all I got. Or you can get this guy. He comes in small, medium, and average. But this is just the average order. Me. Depends on how cold it is outside. Yeah. The chicken and waffles with Tabasco honey butter. Fucking awesome. And these are Elvis waffles, actually, so it had peanut butter, bacon, and banana inside the waffle. Really good. Italian sausage, Bab, I call them Babs. Big ass bolillo sandwiches. Babs. And basically, a lot of the dishes, the entrees could be turned into sandwiches as well. So, like I said, everything was dovetailing. Got pulled pork with like a cherry mustard. The barbecue brisket with a fumi slaw. Blue Moon brat. This was a that looks like my crook, a crook madame. I think that's my crook madame, but on the bolillo bread. No, it's not the crook madame. What was it? Oh, it's just a. What was it? That's a homemade ice cream sandwich. A shrimp cocktail in a jar, Mexican style. What the fuck is it? Oh, it's my brisket sandwich right there. No, what is it? Maybe that's my. Oh no, it's my Italian pepper sandwich. My Italian sausage and peppers. Sorry, nope. Shit. Yeah, it is. Fuck, I forgot what sandwich that is. God damn, I can't even remember what sandwich that is. Pie. Smoked sous vide turkey legs. My mom made me take this down for some reason. I think the reason is because she actually put it up on her own behalf and took all the fucking money is what I think really happened there. And this was back in 2018 when I posted this. But yeah, she threw a big old fucking fit and made me fucking take it down. What a cunt. Now, now I know why. Either way, she didn't want me to be able to fucking make it. She sabotaged me. Pozole Frito pie in a jar. Fucking delish. Pumpkin pie. ไม่ใช่มาโชว์ชาไม่ใช่มา pumpkin pie. what these fuckers have been teaching me is that like all of my fucking social media accounts are basically all shadow banned and controlled by other people. So they've been hiding all of these dishes. So you can see it's fucking good shit, and it should have gotten some more attention than it did. Now, the way that they first tried to steal this business from me was through using the Square app. My friend Frederico. And I came up with the name of the food truck called Green Avocado. He had the food truck, so I would do all the work. I named it. I did all the rest of the development, and then he disappeared on me. And tried to fool me into signing up a Square. And in the contract, it would have taken away like all my rights to the food, the recipe, the menu, and everything. I was like, fuck that. Oh, it was my Cuban. That's what it was. It was my fucking Cuban sandwich. Duh. Yeah, my Cuban sandwich. Made with 3 kinds of pork. Pork tenderloin, ham, and pulled pork. That's Italian sausage, peppers, and onions. And then this is what, and sure enough, I was, a reporter wanted to come out and do a story about these. Apparently they heard about them on Facebook, and this was when I was opening at Monster Car Wash, and Rick and Mike from Eddie Freshi wouldn't let me fucking do the story, because they didn't want it to get too popular. That's the reason they gave me, they didn't want it to get too popular and us not have them before we were opening, so they didn't want it, but it was total fucking bullshit. They were trying to keep the idea for themselves. Hot Cheeto avocado fries. Fucking amazing. And these were corn nut, the chili limon corn nut avocado fries. Also really, really good. And they're gluten free. And that's one of the dishes that fucking Marcel wanted to steal. Oh yeah, by the way, I caught Marcel on camera, and he admitted it. He was playing the model Trisha Fox, which I posted several videos when this first started happening about her and admitting to money laundering and all that kind of shit. And it turned out that the Trisha Fox was actually him, Marcel Fortune. So like last week, they were, in their harassment, they were fucking with me, and they put on a video clip from the movie Amadeus. And basically that was like their plot, or their whole plan. It was the plot from Amadeus the movie, where you had Amadeus playing, basically the character that they developed for the movie Amadeus. Amadeus was a fucking buffoon, and I mean just a total like smart ass, like a man-child. He had no kind of sense of responsibility or maturity, but yet when he played, he just made magic, and he had so much talent, but nobody liked him because he had so much talent, yet he didn't seem to have to try to do what he was doing. It just came naturally. So Soliati, the court composer, came up with this plan to basically make Amadeus Mozart go crazy. He stalked him, basically gang stalked him, made him so paranoid and got him hooked on drugs that he basically destroyed his own life and killed him, and basically died by his own hand. He just went crazy, and that's exactly the fucking theme that they've been fucking trying to do with me all these past 5-6 years. They didn't, respect me. They wanted wanted to steal my work and tried to make me go crazy. It was the exact same fucking theme. This is my X-Men grilled cheese, because I had 10 different kinds of cheeses in it. On a brioche bread, good, real good. More avocado fries. My croque madame. The ham was so fucking delicious. And that's that right there. And there's a lot more photos I have to show my work. I even got the menu done and pictures of that. But that's another one of the big reasons why they were trying to kill me, was because between the food and the recipes and the cooking system, it's literally worth billions of fucking dollars in contracts. And they got greedy. So my own friends and family and former staff and co-workers were conspired to get me to kill myself and go crazy in order to go ahead and take the credit for all of my work. This is all intellectual property theft. So this ties back to Zuka 83. It ties back to Marcel. It ties back to Lansky and Bratz. Basically, like I said, I was a front man for the mob my entire career, just not knowing it. I was the excuse for them to be able to have a legitimate business to launder money out of. And when I first left Lansky and Bratz in 2010, that's when I first pissed off the cartel, because I wouldn't play ball. So that's when they got a vendetta against me. After working with John Besh for several years, I come home, and I start working at at Feldman's Market, running the kitchen cafe. And I caught them. I noticed that there was something wrong with the way that they were reporting their income, and I found out that there was like a whole kickback system from the liquor companies to basically meet certain allotment cells, and in which case the store would be rewarded monetarily. So the way they were kind of doing this was they were funneling a lot of the money through the kitchen, and creating fake sales and shit like that, so they could also get tax write-offs and all this kind of shit, plus all the kickbacks from the liquor companies. And I started pulling my receipts for a couple of weeks, and I reported it to my regional manager and then the state manager, and said, hey, I got these guys. And then right before I was about to turn them in, that's when I was found in a coma. It was a hit on my life. That was the first hit on my life. And since this has all happened, I've had people go back. I've had people actually admit to it. It really was a hit on my life. Because when you think about all the money that Feldman's does, I mean, Feldman's is the biggest liquor beer wine company in the Valley. And you look at the liquor beer wine sales here in the Valley, that's a lot of fucking money and money laundering, and a lot of illegal money. And the thing about wine sales in particular is that they are perfect for laundering money, because the price fluctuates. It's a market item, so you can dictate the price and change the price, drastically from day to day, devaluing or valuing your product, which means you can launder a lot of fucking money. It's like artwork, same fucking thing. It's a great fucking tool for laundering money. Oh, these people look fucking pissed right now on fucking line. I'm spilling the fucking tea right now. So that's why Feldman's tried to murder me, and they didn't even let me get out of the hospital before they fired me. Yeah, that was a murder attempt conducted by Feldman's. The two regional managers, I forgot their names now, but I mean, I'd recognize them. I can always find out their names again. But yeah, those two motherfuckers tried to kill me. And what's interesting is that even though we had a surveillance system, there were no proof of breaking and entering. First of all, second, my toxicology report came out completely clean. I didn't try to commit suicide. I didn't. Supposedly my family even counted my medication and made sure that I, didn't do anything like that. I was just found in a coma. But my mother said, and I remember it, that when they got home that night, before they went to bed, I was actually awake, lying in my room. Sitting in my bed watching TV, and I asked my mother where Grandpa was, because I said Grandpa was just here a little while ago, and she said no, he wasn't. And I insisted that my grandfather was there somewhere in the house. But yet, and then the next morning is when they found me in a coma, and so I'm pretty sure they talked to my grandfather, and he's the one that arranged everything and was, he was able to let himself in the house. I'm not saying that my grandfather actually was the one that committed the act, because he was an old man at the time. So, and the hit I took on the head was fucking him, quite big, and that's why I have a dent in my head. So that's at that time when I was flatlining in the hospital. That's when they went ahead and tried to see if they could put that implant in me and see if it would work. Now, from what I understand, that implant, I wasn't the only patient that they've done that to, but I'm the only patient that survived. I'm the only one in the world who has that fucking implant, which is basically a mock-up leading towards the Neuralink work. So, I can make some assumptions as to why they went ahead and chose me for the Neuralink implant, because I had a reputation now and that was known by the feds that I didn't play ball, and they thought that they could go ahead and use me to infiltrate these people, which is what I've done. They gave me an advantage. So that's my theory, but I can't prove the why. But it was done, and we can prove that already. We've established that. So supposedly when I woke up from my coma, I spoke 5 different languages, and ever since that head injury, while I had a lot of neurological damage and I had to learn how to walk again and talk again and use a knife and everything like that again, I had to relearn my motor skills. Intellectually, though, I've had drastic improvements to where I've been able to do things like I've never been able to do before. My ability to run 3 screens at one time, 3 different computers at one time, and be able to keep track of everything I'm doing. My ability to multitask, my creativeness, everything. It's almost kind of like acquired savant syndrome, but like on crack. And I mean, there's a lot of proof to indicate there really is an implant in my head, and that several of the doctors in the community had to have been involved with it. And in fact, there's one post where I just talk about one of my doctors over at Tropical Texas being named Dr. Prakash Sheth, who is restricted to official government work only, and he's a neurologist and a psychiatrist. What the fuck does official government work only mean? Why are there black unmarked fucking SUVs that are constantly coming in and out of fucking Tropical Texas? Those are rhetorical questions, and I've already made videos discussing that. I don't need to go over it again. So then I recover from this thing, and then Marcel and Miguel and Dr. Lopez are opening up Zuka 83, and they conspire with my mother, and then have me go set up that fucking place with the intention of letting me take the fucking hit and getting blamed for the money laundering if they got caught, and doing all the work, while Marcel, who was supposedly fired at the time, was still an owner. Marcel was just going to let me do all the fucking work, and then come back and they were going to try to muscle me out. And that's exactly what happened. And they tried to steal my intellectual property, and that's why I wound up having to sue them. But the thing about it is, my lawyer, Mato Ruiz, was in on the whole fucking scam. He was in on the deal with Miguel and the doc. So my lawyer actually was working against me. He got me $16,000 to shut up, and my mother's one of my mother's friends who works at her office, Lino, was partnered up with Mauro to run the deal. I guess Lino was the middleman. So I got fucked on that fucking deal. And then they tried to do it again over at Monster Car Wash, because they were still after all of my intellectual property from Zuka, which I would be using to open up Monster Car Wash. So that's why they brought me into Monster Car Wash, so they could try to do the same thing to me. I was supposed to be an owner at Monster Car Wash, and I was supposed to have an apartment. I worked out a really good fucking deal, and I documented it all. And then all of a sudden, I started getting death threats from these guys, and I caught on to the fact that they were involved with the sex trafficking. I caught them online. I had plenty of proof. I filed a police report with Edinburgh PD about it one night, and which I recorded. And then all of a sudden, I have false charges pressed against me for theft from the restaurants, saying that I stole some things that were actually given to me in lieu of pay because they hadn't paid me for 4 months. But the cop was in on it, the investigator was in on it, and apparently the police report that I had filed, there was no record of. At the time, though, they didn't know that I had recorded the conversation, so I had proof of the police report, which would have negated their fucking charges. And I've got recordings which I've posted on other YouTube channels that have been taken down because of so far, but I still have the recordings of the cop, Detective Gonzalez, G. Gonzalez, SWAT member, canine SWAT member. I've got recordings of him lying to the judge. I've got recordings of him harassing me and basically breaking the fucking law left and right, trying to frame me for a crime I did not commit. And they took me to jail for a weekend. And the whole fucked up part about it is my whole fucking family was involved with all of this. They knew about it all. They helped to try to fucking pin this shit on me. And yeah, absolutely nuts. Oh, and last night, I'll make a video about this, but in 2018, I had one attempt on my life where my computer was used as an incendiary device. They overclocked the computer while I was asleep, and the computer was in my bed. It was a laptop. It was a Chromebook. So while I was asleep, they overclocked the computer and shut off the cooling fan so that the computer would eventually combust. So I wake up in the morning, go outside to go smoke a cigarette. By the time I get back from inside 5 minutes later from smoking a cigarette, my bed is engulfed in 3-foot high flames, completely on fire. If I had not woken up 5 minutes, later, I would have died. So that was the first attempt on my life, the major one that had happened. And the fire marshal did confirm that the cause of the fire was the computer. And last night, they finally brought it up again, and I got it recorded and some pictures, and I'll show you real quick. And they were talking they were actually explaining how they were doing it. Fucking insane. So that was what gave them the idea to go ahead and try to frame me for the house fire this time. The second time around was they knew that they could target electronic devices and cause a fire and make it look like it was my fault. Crisis actor. They were fucking about the whole crisis screening. And they also mentioned about how they murdered my fucking dog. They did. They poisoned my dog. The vet confirmed that they poisoned my dog in Austin. Let's see here. And the model's room is Katie Cat. I'm not going to show a picture of her just yet, because I don't want to get the video banned, but it's actually usually played by my friend Jason Torline, who's a former employee of mine, or Jean, who is also a former employee of mine, who now lives in New Orleans. That's my mom using a title loan company to try to harass me for getting a title loan 2.5 years ago, where I already paid the principal off, but she keeps having them call me to fucking harass me, because right now they want me to go fucking get out of the house so they can try to break in again. But that's what that is. Let's see here. Talking about her hair is blue. She's a fucking. Last night she was being played by a cop. Let's see here. There you go. When I try to overclock your CPU to 6 gigahertz. Had a laptop fire once. Might have a chance to get to a 30 series. Laptop fire sounds fun. I was looking for 3060 Ti and at like 1500. You're talking about See? Look, calling again. If I answer the phone, it's gonna give them access into the phone, and they're gonna be able to they're gonna try to corrupt the fucking video. I'm saying this because this is what they do. I know this is their fucking MO. This is exactly what they do. So, then, the same year, about 2 months later, they tried to kill me in a car accident by remotely hacking my vehicle. The technology is called Wave, and it's technology that was created for autonomous vehicles. And it allows you, using that partially the MFC backdoor and using the radio frequency 1609.4, it allows you to get full remote control access over any modern vehicle that's got a computer in it. So anything like this post 2002. And just so you can see for yourself, which also would make allow you to be able to make a car bomb and then drive it anywhere remotely without having to be in the vehicle, and then detonate it. So allowing for another a bomb attack. And over the last several days, they've been mentioning the word cake a lot. And if you know what yellow cake is, or cake, the reference to cake is, it's a nuclear fucking reference to enrich uranium to create an atomic bomb, a dirty bomb. And there were some nuclear waste sites here in Texas, multiple locations over the last 30 years, where they were harvesting this yellow cake uranium. And like I said, I know of Michael Freeman Fresh, who's an Iranian Al-Qaeda terrorist, who's also a computer hacker. One of the guys from Monster Car Wash, who's here in South Texas. Rick Macias is involved with them. And we also have Russian and Chinese intelligence officers collaborating with the cartels and these people. And they're actually here in the United States, in South Texas. I used to date a Russian intelligence agent. I didn't know it at the time, but her name is Tatiana Oshinagova. And I've been trying to tell everybody, they are planning an imminent attack. And it's looking more and more like it's going to be a dirty atomic bomb. I am not fucking around. And I've been documenting these cake references. I need to search for them though. But anyway, WAVE. W-A-V-E. Radio frequency 1609.4. There you go. See, multi-channel, multifunctionality, MFC, multifunctionality console, multi-channel, yeah. Basically, it all goes back to this MFC backdoor. Full remote control access of your vehicle. And this is how they were able to fucking hack into my fucking, what was I driving at the time? A Lexus, yeah, my Lexus. And they caused me to have a head-on collision with a parked vehicle. Interesting enough about that, the vehicle that I crashed into, well, the report, first of all, was written an hour and a half before I even left the house. The timestamp was for like 10:30 or 10:15 or something like that, and I didn't leave the house until like 11:15. And cops were on scene like at 11:45. I was in the hospital by midnight. So the timestamp on the report was written an hour and a half before I even left the house, so it was already made. The make and model of the vehicle that I crashed into was completely wrong on the police report, and they refused to amend it. McAllen PD knew about this, knew it was going to happen, and tried to cover it up. And then on my way to the hospital, while I was on the way to the hospital in the ambulance, because I broke all of my ribs, supposedly they issued a ticket stating that the accident was my fault, and gave it to my mother to give to me, which that is not standard police protocol. Well, she didn't give it to me, so then I would miss my court date because I didn't know about it, and then I'd have a warrant out for my arrest, and then have to try to come up with money that I did not have, or have to go do some community service, which is still active. Because I was not about to go fucking do community service on a fucking murder attempt on my life that McAllen PD was trying to help cover it up. So that was the first indication that I had cover-up going on. First indication that I had McAllen PD trying. Jesus fucking Christ. First indication of McAllen PD trying to cover this up and being involved in an attempt on my life. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off now because they're obviously trying to fucking corrupt this video, and I've put too much work into it already. So I'll be posting this, and we'll be continuing.